Hi, this is Julie, author of Beneath Sheep's Clothing, writer of the documentary Beneath Sheep's Clothing, and founder of the People's Network. One of the major issues plaguing our schools today is weak academics. And sadly, this is by design. Now, not to insinuate that most teachers are trying to weaken our students with bad academics. I don't believe that to be the case. However, and just like most doctors are not trying to destroy people's health, or they're not trying to give bad advice to people, the medical system is subverted. So our institutions in America today, there's a lot of problems with them. So just a few little examples. Upwards of 40% of US fourth graders are not able to read at a basic level. Upwards of 60% of fourth graders are not doing math at grade level. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But this dumbing down's been happening for a long time. Charlotte Iserby, she worked in Ronald Reagan's Department of Education. She was actually brought in to help shut it down. And she has a book called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. Highly recommend taking a look at that. But this is an agenda that goes far back. And it really has to do with even many, many decades ago, with changing how they taught reading, to getting away from phonics, which they know with research that many kids cannot learn to read properly without phonics. So going to these different systems of reading, changing how they taught math. Common Core math is notoriously confusing, for example. But not only is it using bad teaching practices that is making the basics harder for kids to learn, but it's also now replacing academics with social and emotional learning, and see the video on that I did, and with ideological training for our students, which is not the school's job, but that's become the school's job. Now, the teachers don't really have that much control. They're just teaching what they have to. Teachers have very little control over their curriculum at this point. So it's really, you have to go further and further up. And if you go all the way up the chain, this goes back to UNESCO, this goes back to the Department of Education, this goes back to agendas that have been in place for many decades to weaken and subvert America's children and the rising generation through a poor education and poor academics. When we send our kids to school, we expect that they're going to be taught and given the best chance for success in life, but sadly that is not the case in most cases.